Hey guys, Zetsubou here, and today I'm bringing you guys a video on getting the Skull of NAN SAPWE on Zetsubou no Shima by round 3. I'm not even joking. In the gameplay you can see that I get the Skull of NAN SAPWE, which is technically a wonder weapon, by round 3. Now this is going to be a very in-depth guide. We're not going to be using any glitches. It's 100% legit. You just have to follow the steps that I tell you to do. Now I would like to give a disclaimer before I get into the steps that you will need to have about 3 to maybe 4 players for this to work. We're not going to be using any gobblegums by actually doing this, so it's 100% legit and it's pretty easy to follow the steps. So without further ado, let's get into it. So when you spawn into a game, you're going to need 2 of your 4 players to actually open 2 doors. You open the one on the left hand side, and then someone goes and opens the one on the right hand side. The next thing you're going to go and do is actually get one person to get 750 points. They'll have 500 points. Just probably kill at least one zombie and point haul like crazy. So when at least one person has 750 points, they can go and open the door that leads you to the place where all these skulls are on the table. What you're going to need to do now is actually go and grab the skull that is matched with the podium in the spawn room. And then you guys know the drill. You place it down, you kill zombies, and it is round 1 when you are doing this, so just stab them. It's pretty easy. You don't want to stab the zombies that are not glowing green. What I suggest is get someone out of your 4 players to go and actually train the zombies that are not glowing green. Now that's one of the 4 skulls done. The next thing you want to go and do is get someone to train these zombies again. You still have those zombies from earlier. Nothing's happened to them. You should just still have them. Get someone to train that and do the second skull location. Now the second skull location is located when you actually open the door on the left hand side, and then you keep following that little hallway and you open the second door that opens to the plane trap. You then want someone to train the zombies, as I said before, in a different location so you actually don't kill them. And then what you want to go and do is actually go and place down the skull, stab the zombies that are glowing green. As I said before, it is still round 1 when you are actually doing this step, and eventually it's all going to be done with and you can go and get the skull again and place it back down on the table. Now when the second skull is finished, at least 2 players will have 500 points and another 2 players will have 1000 points. One of the players that has 1000 points will have to go and open the door in the Skull of NAN SAPWE table location. It's just located at the far end of the room. You go and open that for 1000 points and that leads you to Generator B. Now the next step I'm going to be showing you is actually pretty crucial, and this is why you need about 3 to maybe 4 players in your game. Now the 2 people that have 500 points need to work together for this step to work. So one of those 2 people actually have to go down, and the other person who has 500 points actually has to revive them. So the person who goes down actually loses 30 points, and the person who revives them actually gains those 30 points. This is pretty much sharing your money with the other person, and by doing that, the person who goes down loses their money and the person who revives them gains their money that they've actually lost. Now you're gonna need to repeat this step a lot of times in the gameplay. One of my friends actually goes down, I'm not even joking, about 30 times until he has about like 10 points. So you want to keep doing this until the person who has gone down is left with about 50 points and the person who has been reviving them the whole time is left with about 1000 points. Now once you've finished that step, you'll probably have about 2 zombies left. So as you can see in the gameplay, a buddy of mine actually kills one of these zombies. He uses his pistol to get the maximum amount of points and stuff like that, and then you see him actually stab the zombie, and that actually gives the person 1250 points. Now once that player actually has that amount of money, they need to open one of 2 doors. Any door you can actually open to get to the bunker really. Before you do this, I do suggest putting on temp power, which activates power for a certain amount of time. But once you have opened the door, you can go and actually open the bunker as you've put in water into 2 of the power stations around the map. You'll see as thrashers start to spawn in, and you actually want to kill the thrasher as quick as possible. Now as you can see in the gameplay, 3 of the players are actually killing the thrasher, and I am actually keeping the last zombie. And by doing that, that means I can keep the zombie until whenever I really want to actually kill it. But in this case, we're actually not killing the zombie. We're going to see the 3 players actually kill the thrasher, and I'm going to be training the zombie for a certain amount of time. Once the thrasher is dead, you're actually going to need the person with the most amount of points to kill the last zombie. That can be by stabbing, that can be by shooting it with his pistol. You're just going to need to kill the zombie because we all don't have enough points to actually go and open the door to get power. So now it's round 2, and what you're going to need to do is see the person with about 500 points. They're going to need to get another 1,000 points to actually go and open the door. So just keep zooming through that round. Try and keep some zombies at the end. Just try and let that one person kill the zombies, as you will need to keep the other zombies for the later rounds. So as you can see, he has 1,500 points. He goes and opens the door, and what you're going to need to do now is actually turn on power. So as you all know, to turn on power, you need to swim underwater and kill zombies underwater. Once that is done, you can go and pick up Pack-a-Punch piece. That's just a good thing to have, but that is how you turn on power by round 2. But once you've done that, you've pretty much just turned on power. You can go and switch that on. And now we're moving on to actually doing the other 2 Skull of NAN SAPWE podium locations. So with the rest of the zombies from round 2, you're going to need to have that same person who opened the door to the power to actually stack up a little bit more points to open another door. In the gameplay, you see that he's actually stabbing these zombies, but you can actually shoot these zombies in the leg if you do have ammo. So again, you will need 1,500 points. You will also need a second player to have the exact same amount of points as you do, as you will be needing to actually open 2 doors. So we're currently at round 3, and we're trying to get about 1,500 points for yourself and for another player. Once you actually have that, that means you can open both doors to the Skull of NAN SAPWE locations. One is located right next to power, and what you're going to need to do is actually find the skull that matches the podium, place it down, kill the zombies, and you're pretty much set for that one. That's 3 out of 4 done. And the last one is located down where you build it, the KT4 wonder weapon. Do the exact same step, place down the skull. You will get maybe about 1 or 2 or maybe 3 thrashes during this process, so just get one person with a gun to actually kill him. I do suggest getting the other 2 people who have the points, because they won't actually be getting any other doors to open. Get them to either hit up the box or buy a wall gun and get them to actually kill the zombies. Pretty much just keep doing that process, and the last skull will be completed. Now once you've got all those skulls, go and pick them up and take them back to the original table that you got them in the first place. By placing all the 4 skulls down, that means a secret location will actually open, and you go down into that little underground area. What I suggest is actually getting a player to stay up top and train a zombie so it actually doesn't die out, and maybe having 3 players go down into the underground area and press the skull, and keepers will start to spawn. Now what you're going to need to do is shoot the keepers. There's going to be a lot, so I do suggest having a weapon such as the Locust, Shima, maybe an XM53 that you can get from the pods. But once you have actually killed all the keepers, that means you can go and pick up your Skull of NAN SAPWE by round 3. As you can see, you get it by round 3 by using this strategy. So guys, that is how you get the Skull of NAN SAPWE weapon by round 3 on Zetsubou no Shima. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it and it helped you in any way, shape or form, be sure to drop a like on it. Shows you guys really support this video. I've been trying to grind out a few tutorials and tips and tricks like this, like how to get the KT4 and certain other weapons around the map and certain other things opened by earlier rounds. So over the next few days, I will be uploading tips and tricks guides just like that. But hopefully you've enjoyed this guide. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more like this, be sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss out on any tips and tricks guides like this. And I'll pretty much be seeing you in the next video. Peace out and goodbye.